Hi, I'm Angella Sharpe, and welcome to the Daily Mix. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It's going to be a very, very hot week, so I hope you enjoyed all your outside activities already. Now, by now, you've already heard the term influencer. Those are typically people that are on your social media that are selling you products and they get paid for it. Well, did you realize now the top two influencers, they're very, 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 very pretty girls. They're not real. It's AI. So they're AI girls. I was gonna show you a couple of photos of them, but these very pretty AI girls aren't dressed a lot. So I couldn't show you their photos. But the two biggest influencers right now that humans think are people are not people at all. They're actually AI. And they talk to camera and they have very natural gestures. It's just very interesting to see. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens to influencers as a whole. And then one day, who knows, like maybe this show would be hosted by an AI version of me. That would be pretty cool, right? Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got my hot air balloon t-shirt on. I've got a balloon necklace, balloon earrings. I'm ready to go because Jessica Stegen from the Great Forest Park Balloon Race is here to talk all things Great Forest Park Balloon Race. And we did not plan on matching. It just happened. So that's even better. So we're gonna get started on the Daily Mix so we can get closer to balloon talk. You know I love balloons. To start things off, we want to congratulate Officer Major on a very successful trip representing both the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department and the United States in the World Police and Fire Games in 2023 in Winnipeg. Officer Major won several medals, including gold in the 400 meter and setting a world record for men 35 to 39. That is pretty impressive right there. Now, this next story is something Officer Major might really enjoy. The unique St. Louis tradition of biking under the glow of the full moon continues this weekend with the 59th annual Moonlight Ramble. Grab your bicycle, light it up, and join thousands of other riders in the world's original nighttime bike ride and help support TrailNet at the same time. The event includes a laid-back bike ride through the closed streets of St. Louis, a street festival with entertainment, food and drink, a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt, an after-ride party with snacks and drinks. Now, it all takes place this Saturday, August 26th, with check-in and pre-ride festivities beginning at 7 at the Grove. You can find all the details at moonlightramble.com. I haven't been in years, but I went once when I was 13 with my dad, and I remember my dad and I wore matching t-shirts because we wanted to be able to find each other, I guess. I don't know, but it was like a really, really fun time. I would love to go on another bike ride with my dad. I lost my bike, however. Another St. Louis tradition that is the largest multicultural food and music festival in the Midwest also returns this weekend. The Festival of Nations features performers, food and retail vendors representing more than 75 countries, live entertainment from around the world, and so much more. The two-day celebration was nominated as Best Festival in St. Louis Magazine's A-List Reader's Choice Awards and is a public expression of the work the International Institute of St. Louis does to embrace multiculturalism and show that what makes us different is what makes us stronger. This year's event will take place Saturday and Sunday in Tower Grove Park. For a full list of performers, vendors, and more, go to festofnations.com. This weekend will also mark the first ever Evolution Festival, featuring the best in barbecue, bourbon, and music. Now, the festival promises to be an elevated experience for all of your senses. They have a huge and diverse lineup of musical acts, including the Black Keys, Brandi Carlile, the Black Crowes, Ice Cube, Sugar Hill Gang, and many, many more. I really want to see Ice Cube, by the way. That's the one that's on my list. There will also be appearances by nationally known barbecue pitmasters and bourbon author. The Evolution Festival will take place in Forest Park this Saturday and Sunday. Check them out at evolutionfestival.com for a full lineup and to get those tickets and a lot more. I don't think you're gonna wanna miss it. It sounds like it's gonna be a ton of fun. Now, can you believe the following weekend is already Labor Day? Summer has went by way too fast. Of course, that means the return of the Japanese Festival in the Missouri Botanical Garden. For more than 40 years, this unique event has been providing authentic Japanese music, art, dance, food, and entertainment for thousands of visitors. Now, this 3-day weekend will have something for everyone, including martial arts demonstration, sumo wrestlers, drumming activities, tours, and more. The Japanese Festival runs Saturday, September 2nd, through Labor Day, Monday, September 4th, at the Missouri Botanical Garden. Visit mobot.org/Japanese Festival for all the details. The next couple of weekends are also a great time to head out to the Riverboats at the Gateway Arch. They've teamed up with the Gateway Arch National Park on a new junior ranger program called Riverboard Explorer. Young explorers can set sail on the mighty Mississippi and learn about river travel, historic St. Louis, species, and so much more. Now, the program is being offered daily at 1:30 and 3 on the 1-hour St. Louis Riverfront cruise. Young explorers can get an activity book from the park ranger on board and fill out as many activities as they can to receive their badge and certificate. The Riverboat Explorer program runs through Labor Day. You can learn more about it at gatewayarch.com/riverboats. All right, so I saw this trailer. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I saw the trailer, and I feel like I need to share it with you. Liam Neeson, of course, is one of those guys that you just believe his intensity, right? Well, he's got this movie that he's the star of called Retribution. He's a banker who receives a bomb threat while driving his kids to school, and you know that's gonna make him angry, right? Check this out.
Are you gonna answer that?
It's not mine.
Hello, Matt.
Sorry, who is this?
There is a bomb under your seat. If you... Do I have your attention?
Did I do something to you?
You sound so guilty.
What do you want?
Drive to this location.
Honey, something's happened. There's a man who has put a bomb in the car. Under our seats, there are pressure triggers. We can't get out. The car will explode. We're here.
Listen very carefully, or I kill you. Open the glove box. Shoot him.
Why are you doing this? What have I ever done to you?
Dad!
His life or yours.
Matt, I'm your best friend.
You're a murderer now, Matt.
You think I'm the bomber?
Well, I guess you've had a tough day. I know that you lost a lot of money for your clients who invested in your fund. A lot of people are worried about you. You got everybody's attention, Matt.
He is still out there. If you can find him, I will.
I'm in control here.
No, you're not. You hurt my daughter, you son of a bitch. I will kill you. What's it gonna be?
Drive.
All right, I think that movie looks amazing, but I'm also pretty sure if that was Ben Affleck in that role, it would be super cheesy. I really think only he can pull that off. But I'm so excited. Look, I have my guest now on the show. We are matching today.
I know.
Hilarious.
I love it.
So
Orange
this is the color of fall.
I was going to say, it's my favorite color.
Here we go.
And the Great Forest Park Balloon Race is my favorite activity. You are with the Great Forest Park Balloon Race. This is your 7th year being in charge over there, right?
Yes, our team is so excited. I think back to school has been the past couple of weeks, and we always know that that means fall is almost here, and September 15th and 16th is right around the corner. We couldn't be more excited.
That is so fun. So for people who are living under a rock, the Great Forest Park Balloon Race has been going on for years.
Right, this is our 51st annual event, actually.
51st annual event, okay, and it's a 2-day activity.
Right, we call it Race Weekend. A lot of people know of the Glow, that's Friday night, and that is just spectacular. It's beautiful. You can come down to Emerson Central Fields in Forest Park as early as 5 p.m., have dinner with us, get settled, find a spot to picnic, and the balloons start glowing as the sun starts setting. And that's just a spectacular night. We have the Golden Knights returning again. They do a nighttime jump on Friday night. They're the U.S. Army Golden Knight parachute team, like the best in the country. They're amazing to watch. They jump with flares and fireworks on their boots, which is just so
That's
wow.
going to be so cool to see.
Yeah, and then they're followed by the PNC Bank fireworks, which is just a great annual tradition to have that be the finale of our Glow event. But race day is Saturday. That's an extension of the weekend, and the fields open at 1 on Saturday, and the balloons start to prepare for their big race around 3:30 that afternoon.
So it really is a race weekend. I mean, there's something for everybody, and obviously people don't have to go to all of it, but if you're into like nighttime activities like a glow and fireworks, Friday night's for you. If you're into racing and watching the balloons take off, that's Saturday. And if you're like me and obsessed with balloons, you go to all of them.
Just do the whole thing. Right, we have about 60 pilots from all over the United States who come to St. Louis for that weekend, and they just absolutely love it. They're some of the best pilots in the country. We are one of the few metropolitan area races, so a lot of balloon races you'll see out in the middle of the country. Everybody knows Albuquerque, right? There's no highways, there's not an airport that close. We're dealing with a lot of challenges here in buildings, but it's also very exciting for our pilots because they can wave to all of St. Louis as they fly over. I've been lucky enough to fly in a hot air balloon, and I know you can actually hear people on the ground, so we always say hi. It's such a treat.
It's so cool to see them kind of go over those highways, and then obviously they have to land when they have to land, depending on wind and all the other factors that go into it. And some of them end up landing in very interesting spots. I talked to a pilot last year who landed in a very, very small front yard he was telling me about, and the people happen not to be home, but they got it on their Ring doorbell, and I'm sure that's something they show everybody all the time.
That's probably very cool. We have neighborhoods of people that will come out, and you can actually help pack the balloon up. The pilots love talking to everybody in neighborhoods, but yeah, they'll land on golf courses, in yards, wherever it looks like a safe spot to land. That's what they're looking for. And one of our most common questions is actually where the balloon's going to fly, or where will the balloons land, right? And to be completely honest, it depends on the wind that day. So we meet with the FAA and Weather Service on the day of the race, right before the balloons get ready to launch, and talk about wind direction and all that. So that's where you'll see on our social channels, I'll be posting where we expect the balloons to go. But we don't know until that day and how the winds are working. I love that you have kind of added the social media aspect into it. I have been sitting across the street chasing with my dad forever, and social media wasn't a thing back when I was little. So he would be like licking his finger. I think the wind's going that way. I think they're going that way. And then we would chase them, and helping them land was like my favorite thing in the world. But you're really helping people because you can kind of say, we think the balloons are going like southeast, and that really does help people kind of figure it out. And maybe they didn't make it all the way out to the park, and they're like, wait, I live southeast. Right. Maybe I should go outside. It's a great way for people who have soccer games that day or family parties to be able to participate in the event, wave to our pilots, get that wow factor. I think it's one of those few events out there that makes everyone feel like a kid again. Yes. And we want that to be available to as many people as possible. That's awesome. And on Saturday, you have a stage, you've got a DJ out there, dancing's happening. Like, it's
a full day event, and it's not just for kids. Obviously, kids have a great time, but I have met a lot of just single people who just randomly show up there because they want to see what it's all about, and they end up having a great time too.
We always say it's a free event for families and friends who are like family. So come down with your group of friends. Our Washington University main stage is one of the best places to be at the field. DJ Reggie has a great time. One of the newest traditions, I think, at the race has been dancing with DJ Reggie at the WashU main stage. So there's a lot of great activities. Blue Moon is out with us again. The Purina Pro Plan Performance team will be with us again this year. Children's Hospital is doing some really cool things. So it's not just the balloons. There's a huge festival that surrounds it with inflatable activities, concessions of all kinds. There's really something for everyone.
And if you're obsessed with balloons like I am, there's a lot of vendors that might, I in fact bought these earrings there one year.
Yeah.
Like a lot of vendors that might have balloon activities so you can remember this day, you know, years down the line.
Absolutely. We have our own merch too, where you can get Great Forest Park Balloon Race merch, much like that shirt.
Much like this shirt that I'm wearing right here. Yeah.
We started doing a commemorative poster last year for our 50th that we're extending into this year as well. So the commemorative poster is done by Mike Wright, who you might recognize from like the Cardinals programs.
Yeah.
He did an incredible job this year, and we'll be launching that on our social channels here shortly.
And I've noticed that, especially at the Glow, where people can kind of get up close to those balloons, a lot of the balloonists have their own kind of baseball trading card for their balloon.
That's right.
So kids can go around, or Angelas can go around and collect all those cards of the day.
One of the best parts about the Glow is if the weather cooperates and the winds are calm enough, once the balloons are inflated and tethered so they all stay in one place and fire their burners to glow like lanterns, once we feel it's safe, we'll let the rope line down around the launch field and everyone can walk amongst the balloons and meet the pilots, just like you said. Get those trading cards, sometimes they have stickers, and just interact and ask questions about all the great stories our pilots have.
That's pretty cool to kind of hear some of the stories that these people have from maybe doing this over years, where they've landed, where they've gone. Like you said, it's one of the only ones in a big city like this. What happens when they go to the arch? Is there like a no-fly arch situation?
We approach, we have airport, there's an airport right over in Illinois, and then we have Lambert, of course. So we work directly with the FAA to decide, if they're approaching that area, if they have to go up to 3,500 feet. Or, obviously you can't fly under the arch, but we've been in and around the arch. Obviously, our team loves it when our helicopter photographer can get photos of the balloons with the arch. It's so, so iconic.
I love that. So if somebody's watching, it's a free event. Let's kind of go through each day kind of separately so they can kind of plan out their activities. So Friday, what time does all that start?
We open at 5, but because it's sort of like an unofficial holiday in St. Louis, we say come down as early as you can. The park does get very crowded. We have almost 70, 80,000 people who come to the Glow on Friday night. So all of the parking in Forest Park is free, including street parking. So you can find a spot, grab a picnic area and meet us at 5 if you want. And then the balloons will start glowing closer to 7, 6:45 or 7.
6:45.
The WashU main stage kicks off at 6. The festivals all get going right at 5. And the balloons glow about an hour and a half. And then they will deflate and make room for the Golden Knights to come down at 9 o'clock. And then at 9:15, we do the PNC Bank fireworks finale.
So it really is. Friday is a whole day all by itself, not even counting race day. So that's a really cool activity for people to take part in. But my favorite is the race. So now we got to talk about Saturday and the race day.
The race is so iconic because if you think about it, the PNC Bank hair balloon is the one who launches first. And then we have waves of balloons that go off in waves of about 15 at a time. So it's just really exciting to see all the balloons start to launch and be able to wave and cheer as they go. But we open the field at 1 on Saturday for all the festival activities. And then we do an opening ceremonies around 3. And the Golden Knights will jump again on Saturday as well.
I remember the year that I went down with you guys, because I usually sit across the street, but I wanted to experience because you had been on the show. And there was a man, I think he was 89, and he jumped with them, and I was so impressed by that. So that was so huge. So
if you're going to jump with anybody, the U.S. Army Golden Knights are the ones.
That's who you should jump with.
Exactly. They are the best. They can land on a dime. It's amazing to watch them. They put on quite a show. They bring a flag down for the opening ceremonies and the national anthem. And so after the Golden Knights, then we start to prepare for the race. So that's when we have our pilot meeting and everyone starts to gear up. The balloons start to prepare for inflation. And for those of you who don't know, we do cold air inflation first. So the crew will actually, they fire up fans to help the balloon open up to allow for that hot air to start. So,
which is pretty cool to watch him, because you can if you're on the field or near the field, near that rope line,
Right.
you can kind of see all those balloons starting to inflate. It's great photo opportunities if you can kind of
Absolutely.
stand right by that rope line.
Right, exactly. And speaking of the rope line, this year we actually have a new partner. It's a John Deere dealership called Side and Stricker Nobi, and they are doing little mini tractor rides around the rope line. So that's definitely a fun place to stop
That's
over in
new.
our children's area. Yes, we try and add new things every year. I mean, it is a great tradition. There are a lot of things that you can't expect, but we have them coming back and quite a few new sponsors who help us make this event free for everyone to attend.
Now, I was blessed to be able to go up with one of the pilots in the Great Forest Park Balloon Race a couple years ago. And watching them go in waves is really cool. I think our wave was number 2.
Right.
And I got to look down and kind of see all those other balloons kind of like inflating and coming and chasing, right?
Right.
So let's kind of explain the race for people. Because when you hear race, you're thinking that's the fastest to get somewhere, but that's not how this race works.
Right, it's not necessarily about speed, it's more about accuracy and being able to navigate the winds. So like I said, the PNC bank balloon is our hare balloon, and then the hound balloons chase the hare. So PNC will fly and find a safe space to land, and once they land, they put out an X in that yard or on that golf course or wherever they end up. And then the other hound balloons, their goal is to drop a birdseed bag as close to the X as possible. They can't all obviously land in the same place, so that's the goal, is to drop your birdseed bag. And because the winds change, some years the winner's 2 miles away. It's wild how that all works. And then other years they're 2 feet away. It's pretty amazing how accurate they can be in navigating.
Now, I'm sure that you've talked to many people like me who have been doing this for years and years and years. Is there any 1 or 2 stories that like stick out on your mind of people talking about doing this for all these years?
I love some of the stories from our original founders. I mean, there are people involved in the race still that were there on year 1. And I know John Marlowe always tells this really great story about the winds changing as the race was beginning, and they flew right over Children's Hospital and the patio where all the patients and families were watching, and got to wave. Everybody like pulled their bandanas off and was waving at our pilots. I mean, that's what makes our event so special, being in the city and being able to be available to as many people as possible, even those who can't make it to the field itself.
That is huge. Now, where are these social media channels? Where can people find out all this information so they can kind of keep up with you?
Facebook and I guess X is probably the best place
Right.
To get the most up-to-date information. We use those very frequently during race weekend, especially to update on if the launch is delayed for wind or something like that. Instagram is where we post tons of old photos from our history, new exciting photos. I mean, the amount of photos you can get at this event is just
Huge.
amazing. And I've been doing it for years and I still can't get enough of it. So Great Forest Park Balloon Race is our tag on those channels, and we'll keep them updated as much as possible. We also at greatforestparkballoonrace.com have a section called Getting Around, and that's the best place to go to see about where all the park entry points are, where parking is, what streets are closed or restricted, to make sure that we have the infrastructure for the event itself. But that's a great place. We have really good FAQs on there and lots of information about our vendors.
Now, if somebody's watching and has never, ever been to the Great Forest Park Balloon Race, why would you tell them to come?
I think it's an amazing opportunity to put your phone in your pocket unless you're like taking a picture, and just sort of like shut the rest of the world out for a few hours over 2 days. It'll make you feel like a kid again. Your face will hurt from smiling, and it's just one of those memories that you can make with your friends or your family that you'll be talking about for years to come.
I love it so much. Definitely check out the Great Forest Park Balloon Race. You are not going to want to miss it. All the information is right there on your screen. Of course, you need to follow them on all their social channels so you can keep up, especially if you want to chase the balloons like I do. And Jessica, ask any pilot if they need an extra weight. I'm more than willing to help. Also, after you follow the Great Forest Park Balloon Race, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or now X, and Instagram. You can drop us a line at stltv.net. We want to hear from you. That's going to do it for the Daily Mix. We keep it right here on STL TV and Experience St. Louis. I'll see you next time.